coconut.
Hello, nut.
I said
Coconut.
nut what?
Nuts for coconuts.
There's literally an aisle in the grocery store at Sprouts that says nut butter. All it says is nut butter, and I literally giggle every time I see it. I'm just like, what kind of butter? What kind of butter is at Sprouts?
A whole aisle of nut butter.
A whole aisle of nut butter, and I giggle. I mean, nut butter does not sound appealing, you guys.
No, it doesn't.
And I love nuts. I fucking love nuts, but nut butter doesn't sound great. What up?
Nut butter is
Space Hamster Boo? Damn, Space Hamster Boo said Brit.
He's on it. We're excited to have you back. Yes, everybody, look, all the maidens are all together again for episode 42.
The answer to life is
yes.
alive.
The meaning of life. Episode 42. It's all great, and we're all here, and we're very, very excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I had the notes for this game written.
Wait a second. Hold on now.
Long. Wait.
Something's wrong. What about nut milk? Nobody said anything about nut milk.
Something's right.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. Somebody misquoted me in the chat.
Well, that, but also something's wrong with our chat box in the streaming standby.
Okay.
For some reason, it's
testing.
It's not updating.
This is giving me time to post.
Yeah, post. Seriously, tell your friends.
Not
take
to be rude.
this moment.
I am
to
listening.
Tell all your friends that we are live now.
You guys.
You missed the nut butter.
Oh, I see why. Now we're good.
Yay.
Now we're good.
Okay. Sweet. All right, now I'm going to make the chat go away because I love you all, but you are so distracting.
It's true.
You're just too funny, kids. You're just too funny.
I will keep a lazy eye on the chat.
Just one lazy eye pointed
One
right over
lazy eye. You guys remember that?
No.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about. The lazy eye. It's from
Fifle
Goes West.
Oh yeah.
He has like the lazy eye, and then it goes like crazy, or it might be the crazy eye.
Anyway, welcome everybody to episode 42 of the Venture Maidens podcast. I am your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
I am your elven warlock, Brittany Quintero, playing Arnadella Thill. I'm drinking wine that is over a month old against my better judgment, but it's all I have, folks.
Wait, Brittany, you're missing something. What are you missing?
Oh.
Brittany is missing her crown of inspiration.
I was going for the brooch of shielding. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, no.
I'll get that too. I'll go get my crown of inspiration. I have a proper crown this tonight.
Many props.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, while Brittany is gone, next intro.
Next up in line is Nassim Etima playing Saya Noor, your human monk.
Thank you. And next, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen.
It is Sage!
It is
the barbarian of bountifulness, Cara Brunhilde.
That's a new one.
I like that.
I'm trying, for every episode, I'm trying to come up with a new B alliteration to go with barbarian.
Oh, I'll have to start paying attention to that more and more.
I believe last time was boisterous.
Good B words.
Yeah. Bitchin'.
Oh, that's
bitchin'
definitely
barbarian.
The bitchin' barbarian.
Oh, look at your
That's a tavern
name.
I love it.
Yeah, so for all the folks who are listening via the podcast and may not know, Brittany still has her crown of inspiration from our Discord bingo board, which you too can join our Discord, listen along, and if we do any of the things on the squares listed, you get to mark off that space. And once a bingo board is won, somebody gets a point of inspiration, and you get to decide who it is. So Brittany still is holding on to hers. So we'll see if that comes out this game.
Yes.
But yeah.
I made this like 2 years ago for Halloween. Nobody ever got to see it because I don't have friends down in San Diego.
Oh, was that when you were Artemis?
No, that was forever ago. Dude, way to have a great memory. I remember your costume that night too. It was beautiful. No, I made this in San Diego, and then I went to a party, and I was way overdressed. Everybody was in like Party City fucking shit, which is no shade. I'm not.
Boo.
I'm not.
No,
No,
I'm
no,
throwing shade.
that's fine. But I definitely I went above
Shade.
and beyond with my costume, and I'm like, this is
As
awkward.
one should.
My mother taught me that wearing a tiara is never overdressed. It's just fabulous.
I had like 15 yards of fabric. And it's that blue wizard robe thing that I sent you, Celeste, and then you sent me back. I was wearing that with this and a wig and face.
I sent it back because she asked me, not because I didn't like it. Just
Yeah.
to clarify.
Yeah. I was like, give me that fucking thing back so I can try to sell it, but it's
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah, for a second I was like, ooh, damn, harsh Celeste.
Oh yeah, no, fuck your
She
costume.
sent it right the fuck back to me.
What the fuck back? Return to sender. This is gross.
Fuck this thing.
Anyway, yeah, so clearly we're all back together and we're very excited about it. But we got to get into it. We got to try and recap what happened last time. I don't know, Britt, if you tuned in or not, but so this is
we
probably
gotta fill you in.
Oh yeah, this is probably going to be up to Sawyer and Kara. What
Tell me.
happened?
What happened
Tell-
to me?
tell-
Was I passed out? Like, did I get shot by something and then you guys had to carry
You-
my limp body?
You have
You
laryngitis,
had laryngitis, so you couldn't speak.
Oh,
but then
ew.
proceeded to have like a 2-hour-long conversation with Rana, and we're like,
What?
As soon as we got to, basically we had to spend the night somewhere briefly before we did our thing. And it was a friend of Rana's named something.
Azumi.
Azumi, who had a little girl, Kyoko.
Wait, do you guys want to tell me first about where you are? You got
We're-
lots of detail. I talked a lot last episode
We
about
are in the city of Ashtar, known as the City of Bells, which the city sprawls across a number of different plateaus that go in like ascending order. And you kind of arrive. We crossed a bridge that was covered with bells, and we rode up into the city, which is covered in bells, like 5 million bells everywhere all the time, of all shapes and sizes, with lots of greens and browns and blues and silvers and golds and bronzes and all those kinds of things. And the city has a very Edo period feel to it, because it's got all these, the fancy pagodas that you would see in Japan or China and such. And it's very pretty. And we rolled up to the guards. Oh yes, and Rana was dressed in very fancy attire. He was in his formal wear category because he's a Corellan and they're really important. And he gave us bells, because when you enter the city, you have to pay the troll toll, which is a bell toll. So we hook bells up to the fence.
Sorry, now I have that Always Sunny song stuck in my head.
the boys' hole.
You want to touch the boys' hall, you've got to pay the troll toll.
I'm so glad you referenced that.
That's like my favorite line from that show. Along with Dayman, but we won't get into that because once I go, I can't stop. So then we put the bells up onto the wall, and we rode up to a very, very quiet part of the city, which has like very sparse housing, and the houses that were there were very big and gorgeous, like they were like manors. And there were no bells in this part of town. And he said something very poignant, was that in order to learn the beauty of music, you must spend so much time in silence. And we're both like, what?
Yeah, in that episode, you're both like,
It just like went right over our heads.
you're like bullshit.
Yeah, like
dumb.
what the fuck
You're
does that
wrong.
mean?
Arnadel got it though. She was silent for the whole
Yeah,
For you.
Yes.
Intellectual nonsense.
Yes, and then that's when he brought us up to Azumi's house, where we have been gifted lodgings and a wonderful, wonderful meal. I love that pipe. This scene, it's very cute.
It's my roommate.
That's dope. And then then that's when we met the little girl Kyoko, who she never actually said how old she was, so she's like 6 in my head, but she's probably like 10 or something. I don't know. But she was very impressed by Kara and her fighter might.
Yes.
They made fast friends, and Saya felt left out. And we got a little bit more information about what we were expected the next day in terms of like a trial and a real spiritual experience. Sayo got excited about that and decided to go to bed early.
Yeah, because tomorrow morning, at the crack of dawn, y'all have to walk the path which leads up to the temple.
Yes, it's like, yeah, we're passing by shrines and up hills and by creeks. And
Yeah, you're climbing up a shitload of steps to the top of the tallest point.
I
of the
imagine it's
plateau.
like in Kill Bill 3 when she's going up to see Pai Mei, and it's just like
Yes.
fucking forever.
Yeah.
Um,
That's when Arnadell hung back and chatted with Rana for pretty much the rest of the night. And Kara, the little kid Kyoko went to sleep, and Kara and I hung out. Yeah, to sleep. She trotted off and asked. I was about to call you Saya, Kara, for her help something later.
mm-hmm. So we're getting ready to, like, we were asleep. We're getting ready to go to sleep, and she comes up like right at the foot of the bed, like child of night, just and Carl's like, "Oh my god!" Like almost punched her in the face because she was very surprised.
It was very sneaky.
Very sneaky child, and she was like, "Hey, there's a creepy man in the basement." And Kara's immediately, and he talks to me at night and he tells me weird creepy things, and Kara's like, "Oh my god, is someone touching you?" So, yeah, and so she told Kara about how he she had drawn a picture that she presented to her, and he looked like this very kind of shadowy, misty figure, and we would talk about very weird and strange things. And so she brought us, so Kara woke up Saye so that they could go down to the basement because that's where he lives, because she's kind of seen him shuffling down there, but the mom doesn't know. I think
she knew, but she didn't really believe her.
Yeah, like Kyoko tried to tell her, but she's like, "No, it's just your imagination."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I didn't really believe her at first either, but I was like, yeah, we'll make her feel safe and we'll go. But then when we got there and it felt weird.
It was real. Oh my god.
She was genuinely scared and freaked out, and we went downstairs. I at first didn't feel anything, but Kara did. And
oh yeah, immediately like hackles are pricked, like, just like feeling at the back of your neck, and you're just like, ah, oh god. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. And I failed, I don't know, a wisdom check or something, and got attacked mentally, hearing screams and stuff saying, kill them all. The bells are like, it's driving him crazy or something, and we need to kill them all for the bells to stop ringing.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you learned we needed to hit him with magic, and we defeated him.
Yeah, eventually.
Defeated who?
This weird shadow creature thing. I think it's, we don't know what it was, but it was really it was fucking creepy. It's like the Babadook.
Fuck, that's lame. I would have loved to have made some Arcana checks on that shit.
Yep, nobody made checks on what it was.
Fuck, I want to know.
I was getting attacked. I wanted to kill it.
I only make checks on things.
Of course, Arnadell would have been like, wait. I need to know what this is so I can understand it.
Yeah, so we had defeated it, and we were like, all right, it's cool, kid. And when it died, it sank into a pile of like ash, and there was a silver ring on top of it that helps with dexterity saves.
Yep, it is the Ring of Evasion.
Yes.
So it was a small gold band that had a hummingbird inscribed on it.
And then we defeated it. We got that, and then we decided to go up and tell Rana and Arnadell, because, like, if that creature is complaining about the bells, and maybe it was a fae. If it was a fae that made it up here, like, that's fucking serious business. And then that's where we were at. We were like sitting outside trying to eavesdrop on their conversation.
Yeah.
On mine and Rana's conversation?
Yeah.
Celeste, what Tell.
We'll get to it.
No, I need to know,
Oh, boy.
what did you set up for Arnadel and Rana while I was gone?
I'll tell you about it. The gist of the conversation, I promise. All right, yes, so that was the recap. So now we are ready to begin. So yes, you had both just had your harrowing downstairs basement experience where you had fought off this ghostly, strange creature at the behest of your new friend, the little girl Kyoko. And at the end of that, she had been like, "Good job, our deal is done," and gone back to sleep and said, "Never talk to my mom about this." Okay. And then she had gone off to sleep. And you had both decided to sit outside of the room where Rana and Arnadel have been talking now for about an hour and a half. Not terribly long. And so at this point, you both post up. And Arnadel, to catch you kind of up on the conversation that's been happening here. So I'm going to just go through the gist of the conversation rather than
Roleplay
playing this out. Yeah. But essentially, he wanted to pull you aside at this point before, because in the morning you're going to see the keepers. And he gave you a couple pieces of advice. If they don't mention the bell or mention that you have one, don't bring it up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. He's like, there's nothing good there.
Yeah. Nope. You made it
That can
so
possibly
exponentially
happen.
Clear.
Right. And the second piece of advice he had, if they do know you have the bell, which they might, whenever this is done, whenever your warlock thing is resolved, you can probably expect that they will call you back here to be trained as a Corellan.
Whoa.
Out of necessity, to keep yourself safe and everybody else safe.
Wow. That's so cool. I'm so jealous.
Because
my face is exactly how Arnadel feels. It's like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
And he explains again, Corellans do not receive any bells until they pass their absolute final trial. So that's like
I skipped
years
a lot.
and years of training, and you have one. So
that was given to me out of necessity. I didn't steal it.
But that doesn't exactly. It was given to you. It is your bell, and you are not supposed to receive a bell until you have earned it. So it's going to be weird. So essentially, he's just explaining to you whatever the hell happens.
Okay.
He's just going over like possibilities with you, and he's just sitting with you and trying to give this information and sitting there as you process it.
Sorry, they'll give me a ring. Oh God,
they'll give you a ring.
Yeah.
Beep beep.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Sorry.
Come on down, Corellan training for everyone.
Yeah. So rather than being like scared or unsettled by this, Arnadel's definitely like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, if they don't say anything, we'll just let it be. She kind of low-key wants to be trained, though. She's like, I mean, it would be stupid of me to have this bell and not have proper training for it. She's all about that. She's all about, like, the proper training of things. So she's kind of, like, more on board with the idea of getting called for proper training. But also is like, ooh, what does that mean for the Sisters of Sorrow?
Yeah. And then Rana does explain also, he was in this life since he was a very small child. He has been raised in Ashtar. This has been his whole life. This is what he is. This is really, he's only been away from Ashtar for about 2 years at this point. And he was never allowed to leave the city before that. So he spent 26 years in Ashtar becoming this. So it's not a casual decision if you're called.
For sure. No, but like I think Arnadel would probably definitely know that that's not a casual thing. She'd be like, oh, looks like I've got another like it's like a trade craftsman type thing.
And I mean, giving 25 years of your life when you're an elf doesn't mean
like,
much.
Her
blink of an eye.
Her thirst for knowledge is definitely making her like more keen on that, for sure. But she's also like, but the mission at hand.
Yeah. And so at the end of this conversation, he's well, I wanted to warn you of all the possibilities I can imagine, though I can't truly speak for what the keepers will say or how they will react. It is extremely likely they already know you possess the spell, and well, it's an institution that's been around for a long time, and dealing with change is not necessarily one of their strong points. So just be prepared.
We'll take it as it comes.
Right. Well, then we should get some sleep. We have a very early morning ahead of us. I hope you know, I will do everything in my power to make sure you're all right.
Thanks, Ron. You've been here with us this whole time, and you haven't wavered in letting us know that you're here to help us. So thank you. I appreciate it.
He smiles and he's like, all right, well then. And he goes and he opens up the paper screen, and sitting there, what are you guys doing on the other side of the door?
So Car would have her ear pressed right against the screen, and as soon as he opened it, would kind of like
probably
lean
fall
back very suddenly, and put her arm up behind her head, like
casual lean.
Yeah, casual leaning, like, hey guys, how's it going?
I wasn't listening to anything. I was clipping my toenails. I don't know what's going on.
So I probably panicked and then dropped to the floor and started doing push-ups.
So it's like Arnadelle kind of giggles a little bit and rolls her eyes and is like, "We'll talk later."
So okay,
or do we? Do we even need to?
We didn't want to disturb you while you was talking. We just fought this weird, crazy monster that was living in the basement, and they gave me this. And she presents the ring.
I look at it. Detect magic.
Wait, as this is happening, Rana's like, what? And he looks down the hallway and it makes a shh noise, and he's ushers you all back into the room and closes the door. There was something in the house?
Yeah. It was really spooky. It was all smoky, and it was kind of weird and shapeless, but it looked like a guy.
Are Kyoko and Izumi all right?
Yeah. Kyoko's the one who told us it was down there. Apparently Kyoko tried to tell Izumi, but Izumi didn't believe us. But it was real.
Okay, I need you to explain everything about this thing immediately, and I need to go check on them. Do you think it was Faye?
Is it too late to roll a check now to think about what we saw?
You can go ahead, and if you want to describe it to him, he can go ahead and make a knowledge check, and Arnadelle can make one as well.
All right.
And it fucked with Saye's head. It got in her head, and she heard what you heard, screams or something.
Yeah, it sounded like the thing was screaming at me to kill someone or some people to make the bells stop ringing. It didn't like the bells.
Totally gotta pull up my character sheet. Sorry.
Okay. All right, Rana, with this information, we'll roll. Oh, damn, Rana, you did great. Okay, so you described to him the wispy ghost form and what it said and how it affected you. It can't have been a fae creature, not up here. It would have been much more powerful, and I doubt you would be standing in front of us now if it was a fae that powerful to penetrate Ashtar.
I rolled a 9. Arcana.
It sounds like some kind of ghost or undead creature?
Yeah, maybe. It might have been that. I'm not really sure, though.
So it kind of shudders a little bit at the thought of it, and yeah, we got rid of it in just a couple big hits, so I don't know. It didn't seem
but
strong.
neither of you have magic, right?
I have magical fists if if the creature needs it, yeah.
Gidget made my axe magic.
Oh, okay. Well,
no,
then
it
yeah,
shoots lightning now. But the lightning didn't seem to do nothing to it.
Ugh.
It was weird. And then there's this ring, and it's got this hummingbird on it.
Well, let me look at it.
Does that hummingbird mean something to you in Ashtar?
Not,
a house sigil or something?
Not to my knowledge. It It sounds like this was a haunting of some kind. That's
Detect magic.
okay. It is magic. It is magic. It's a blue enchantment magic.
Kara is magical.
And it's not like super crazy magic, but it's got a solid, and you're looking at it, you can tell it's a simple enchantment. Like the ring does one thing specifically.
What does it do?
I need to run some tests on it to see what it does. Do I need to attune to it, or like what would that be like?
To use it, you need to attune to it. But
Kara, do you mind if I
identify spell?
what?
Do you have the identify spell?
I don't think so, but let me double check.
All right.
I might have picked something up.
Why don't you
Nope.
go ahead and make an Arcana check on the ring to see if you recognize what it is?
Okay. Where's my dice? That's going to be a 16.
Okay. You remember, you're thinking back to like catalogs of rings you've seen. Like magic rings are pretty common out in the world. This one doesn't like register as anything really crazy or intense. You've seen like nothing that'll like, give you wishes or kill you immediately. You can't remember. You think it was somewhere in the beginning of the tome, but you can't really remember exactly what it was. But it doesn't read as like super harmful.
It would just be like maybe like a buffer type thing, or maybe a protection.
Yeah,
Something.
that's
She's
kind of
like,
what you're getting.
and be like, it's a whatever ring. Like it's probably useful to somebody in a very specific capacity, but it's not going to do any harm.
One of you want to wear it?
I mean, Saya.
Oh, I think I'm pretty set.
Oh,
My ability to hop away, jump away.
I would love, if you guys are cool with it, I'd like to spend some more time with it.
Yeah, it's fine. She hands it over to you.
Tight.
Yeah, so it is attunement, so it'll take you 1 hour to attune to it, and I will tell you the effects upon the hour.
Cool.
If I did get it, though, I would be a fucking god.
Are you still attuned to that wand of polymorph?
Yes.
Pretty?
Oh,
You can
yes.
get attuned to 3 magic items.
Oh, is it 3?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so that'll be 2. All right, and then so Rana hears this description and thinks it's a haunting and is like, I need to go speak to Azumi right now to get details of, did anybody die here? Like, what the weird details. So he rushes off and he reminds you all that you have a very early morning.
All right, let's get to the bed.
Mm-hmm. I march off to my bedroom.
Yes. Yeah, so you were all posted up in a very nice guest room. So you have your beds there if you want to head to sleep.
Wait,
Perfect.
Arnadel, what did he talk to you about?
Oh yeah, what did he talk about?
Oh.
Because we all get snuggled up in bed.
All right.
Sleep over.
Are we sitting like in a cute little circle with our blankets like wrapped around us, and we're just
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
Abby.
yeah, Abby. Basically any stereotype of like a cute, like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a bowl of popcorn in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm Bubbles.
I'm absolutely Buttercup, god damn it. Wait.
I'm Blossom. She's a ginger.
Yeah.
I have green eyes and dark hair. Buttercup.
I'm the professor.
Professor X.
I'm so glad that we established this.
Good. Now we know.
So we're as we're just like sitting around eating our bowl of popcorn. Arnold's like, so Rana was explaining that because you guys know the bell, right?
Yeah.
So you guys have to swear, like quadruple pinky promise, like use your pinky toes and your pinky fingers. Swear.
All my fingers is pinky fingers. You see how tiny they are?
I mean, they're pretty tiny. But you also have to use your feet, like as many pinky promises as you can physically muster. You don't know that I have a bell.
What bell?
I don't know what we're talking about.
I'm really confused.
Yeah, we don't. So that's the end of that. But seriously, in all seriousness, for my sake, I don't, and for your sake, I don't know what they're going to do if they know that I have the spell, but Rana made it explicitly clear that it's a big fucking deal for me to have this spell. If they do know, I'm going to be in debt / need to fulfill some training with this Corellan program. So...
Well, you can't do that yet. We still need you.
I know. They'll just have to deal. I'm going to have to be make a hard point with it, but we don't know what's going to happen until they talk to me. They might not even know that I have it. So if they don't, I don't have anything.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Forgotten.
Also, Rana's chest hair is mesmerizing.
And
Literally
in the last episode, Saya realizes finally that you've been trying
Kara
to
told her.
push
Yeah.
them together.
Yeah.
So the moment you mention his name and his chest hair, she like kind of gives you a little slap on your arm, like, I know what you've been trying to do,
Oh,
Barney.
sorry.
She
I
gets
just want
it
to
now.
see.
I told her.
Kara, can you not back me up on this, girl? We just want to see you happy.
I'm happy all the time.
I know you're already happy, but we want to see you happy.
We want to see you taken care of.
Yeah, in more ways.
I can take care
And
of
more-
myself.
No, we want to see you taken care of outside of what your personal capabilities are. Okay. Secondly, that chest hair. You guys remember when we were in the shifting plains before it caught fire? Remember, like,
oh yeah, you know how it's burned to the ground now,
okay, let's forget that it's
and they
burned.
probably hate us.
Wait a second. Hold on. You're jumping.
so-
No. I'm trying to make a nice imagery here. Before it got burnt down to the ground. Do you remember when we were riding in the carriage and the grass would hit the like the wind would hit the grass and like waves, and it looked like waves moving through the grass. That's
Are you
Rana's
saying
chest.
that's what his chest hair
Yes,
looks like?
it's absolute, like the amount of time that I spent spacing out in the shifting plains
bit
on
excessive.
that. Yeah, and then I'm looking at Rana. And
why
he's-
don't you just get with him, Arnie?
No. He's not my type.
It kind of seems like he's
Got
the type.
something about your type.
No, I want to live
Does
vicariously.
Aaron have chest hair like that?
I do not kiss and tell, but you've seen his chest hair, so yes. He wears that unbuttoned. It's like unbuttoned halfway down it. It's
Since you asked.
anyway, Kara.
What?
As one that has a beard, I would just guess that you would appreciate a good field of chest hair.
I know. Have you seen mine? It's very well taken care of.
I've not seen your chest hair.
Whip it
I
out.
kind of want to see your chest hair now.
Whip it out.
I mean, I look over at Saya and I'm like, am I alone in this?
Saya's like, everyone's body is unique.
I know, but like, I kind of want to appreciate Kara's chest hair.
Is this Dungeons and Dragons?
No,
I
not
don't
right
even
now.
know.
Not at this moment.
This is friendship. What this goddamn is.
Arnadell does not need to describe Aaron Shadewalker's bulge. It is visible for all to enjoy.
Bulge? We just took another leap there.
I'm reading the chat.
I just
Oh,
I just
okay.
listened to the Bulge episode the other day. It's very fresh in my mind. Anyway, no, I'm good, but thank you, Arnie. It's nice to know you're interested.
You don't know how much I love chest hair, so Kara, that's something that I could give you 2 high fives for. And
Oh,
chest
you
hair
know,
and bulges are my
maybe
thing.
maybe when we go back to my homestead at one point, we'll get to take a lovely dip in the natural hot springs, and
It's like the same as like when your friend has a nice ass. You know, you don't have to be like sexually attracted to it. You can just really appreciate that your friend has a nice booty, and you're like, yes.
Yeah. True.
I gotta pour more wine immediately. My glass was not big enough to handle this.
Anyway, we digress. Sorry. This is what happens when this bottle
There's
is
a whole ass glass.
This is over a month old, you guys. Look what it's doing to me.
Extra alcohol.
I don't know. It's probably not, but we'll.
So, do you guys
Go to
spend the
sleep.
night? Yeah, girl talking, and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, and you sleep peacefully, except Saya and Kara, you have strange dreams where you hear the whispering of the word bells, bells,
Fucking hell.
Health bells?
just bells. The same word over and over again, creepily in your heads.
Lovely. Fabulous. We're here for it.
And you are awoken way sooner than you think. It's got to be like 5 a.m. The sun isn't up yet, by a very polite knocking on your door. And Azumi opens up the door and kind of sticks her head politely in the room. Master Rana asked me to wake all of you. Your journey begins shortly. Please join me when you are ready for a quick breakfast.
She rubs her eyes very sleepily and is like, oh my god, I hate everything inside of her mind, and just like proceeds to just roll and like throw herself downstairs.
Yeah. This is real early.
Yeah. I spring out of bed.
You feel great.
I imagine she does like a kip up out of bed.
Yep.
I've already been awake. I only need 4 hours.
Oh yeah, I'm an elf. I don't need that.
I'm an elf.
I'm an elf, so whatever. That's such a human problem.
Sleep.
All right, so you all stumble or walk calmly into the main room where you were fed dinner last night, and there is similar fare laid out for each and every one of you, and a very strong black tea that you can smell immediately when you walk in the room is positioned.
Ooh.
Kara pours whiskey
Yeah.
in it from a flask, a little off to the side so as not to appear rude.
I look over.
Yeah.
Hold on. Arnetta legitimately is like, Kara.
Oh my god, this is how we're
Saya
starting to
is so appalled. She's not so appalled at Kara, but at Arnada.
It's to be expected
Like,
from Kara.
You know what we're about to do today? She's
Yeah,
just
I do. And
staring daggers at you.
don't get mad at me. I'm nervous.
Azumi kind of clears her throat and is politely pretending that she's not noticing anything on the other side of the table, and Rana is like,
Kara. Kara.
Hey, because she's got that laryngitis, it'll clear it right up. She'll just hack it all out.
Nobody's saying anything.
She just proceeds to now just blatantly be like, glug, 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 glug.
Damn. Okay. Thanks.
All right, so you have your whiskey breakfast, and then you Kyoko isn't up yet, but you all finish up your meal, and Rana is of course ready to go, and you all are led out to the front, and then he and Azumi takes his hands and they exchange a few words to each other, and then hug, and he heads out with all of you, and the sun is not up yet. It is very misty, very cold. The minute you step out of the house, it's just like it hits you, and kind of that feeling when you step out into morning
It's
mist
like
that
wet.
just wakes you the fuck up. Yeah, because you're like,
I hate
oh my god.
the worst.
Everybody who's worked early morning coffee shifts,
Oh, yeah.
I don't. Once I'm up, it's fine. But it's the moment of getting up that's.
Yeah. The one where you wish you could die instead.
It's when
Yes.
the alarm goes off that you're just like.
You're like 3 a.m. alarm, like,
Getting
Yeah.
up.
But once you're out in the world, you're like, all right, that's fine.
yeah. The air is crisp, cool, and because remember, you all are at a much higher altitude than you started at. So
Right, yeah.
the air is a little thinner here, so you have to work a little bit harder to breathe. Very cold, and you begin to make your way out of the kind of the plaza of manor houses you came to, and you saw that initial gate before. When you were walking up, you were walking towards that, and it is a very simple like structure where it's just 2 pillars and then
It's like one of those Shinto gates.
yeah, like a Shinto gate on top. So it's just carved wood that's been painted meticulously. You can tell it's really well taken care of. And you see that there are stone steps that have been cut into a sloping hill that it carries on and on upwards into the mist until you can't see any further. And Rana turns to all of you. So, this is the path that will lead us to the temple. It is a time for reflection. Many people travel these steps to see the keepers, to seek answers. Just take it in. Clear your mind. Allow it to be what it is. And he begins to walk up the steps.
Saya immediately takes in his information very seriously and like takes a deep breath and steps forward and follows.
Yeah. So, and you continue onwards for that, for a bit. And why doesn't everybody go ahead and gives me a constitution save after you've been doing this for about 30 minutes, climbing steps, just upwards in the cold, cold morning mist.
Constitution save?
Yep.
10.
Kara got a 22.
A 10, Arnadel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not very physical.
12.
Okay. 12. Ooh.
Damn, monk.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Arnadel, so you woke up, you attuned to the ring, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so the ring, let me see. Where's my DMG? Does somebody have a DMG nearby to look at the ring of evasion?
Ring.
No.
Yeah, I believe it's 3 times per day, or once per day. If you fail a dexterity check, a saving throw, you can choose to pass it instead.
Dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
It might be 3 times per day. I don't know.
Well, you should. Okay, as a DM,
So-
go ahead and make the executive decision and tell me.
Okay, 3 times per day.
Oh, thanks.
If you fail a dexterity save, you can choose to pass it instead.
That's fucking nice of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Sorry, I'm like, I just moved, so I'm like, where the fuck is my stuff? Anyway.
Hummingbird.
That's
So,
real.
of course they do. They go boop boop boop. They usually move in 3s.
Dart around.
Yeah.
Yup. All right. And so with a 10, you are really starting to feel it. Like climbing these steps, it is cold. Your head is like spinning because the air is getting thinner and thinner as you are ascending these steps. And it just feels like your joints are just clouded by cold and wet. And you're so miserable as you're doing this. And then, Saya, you're not as bad off. Like the cold isn't really bothering you. You have that water spirit in you. But you haven't done, you've missed leg day for a while, and you're really like, damn, should have been on it. So yeah, and Kara, you're totally fine. You wear so much armor, and you're so.
It's so fucking used to it. Just fucking walking all the time.
It's like, oh god, the stair thing again, the stair problem. You're just into it.
She's just like groaning obnoxiously the whole way though.
Yeah.
And I imagine like Rana looks back at her like, shut the fuck up, bitch. She's like, I don't want to be here.
You got those short
Rana-
little legs.
Yeah. Rana maintains a easy, measured pace and doesn't look back at all. He keeps his breathing is perfectly calm. It seems like he's walked this path thousands of times, and you think that is probably literally true as he is walking. And you walk for another 15 minutes, and as you do, the mist begins to part a little bit as you see the sun is now beginning to rise, so golden gleams of light are mixing in with the mist, and you begin to see the pinks and oranges of the new day beginning to arise. And in front of you, you see that the stairs curve a little bit to the left, and then there is a stone shrine that has been built on this little platform just off of the stairs. And you see that there are a bunch of bamboo posts that have been stuck in the ground around it. And on the posts, there are hundreds and hundreds of what looks like little tags. You can see they look like little pieces of thread with little cards on them that are just fluttering in the light breeze as you approach. And you can see that each of these cards has writing upon them. And Yeah, and then Rana, who's in the front, he moves off to the shrine, and you can see that sitting in there is a little compartment that has a bowl full of these little empty tags. And he takes one between his two fingers, and he closes his eyes for a moment. And you see writing appears on it, as if by magic. And then he ties it onto one of the posts.
What was that? Can we do that? That was cool.
Absolutely. These are the wishes of the pilgrims who come. Feel free to leave one if you would like.
Definitely.
Oh, what would I wish for?
Yeah. So who wants to take a tag? All right. Arnadel, as you take the tag in your hands, Rana says, "You need only think it, and it shall appear."
She does. I mean, are we going to keep our wish secret, or do you want us to share it?
No. What did Arnadel wish for?
She wished for the storm that she feels is constantly raging inside of her to... She wishes she has a little bit more control over that storm.
And as you think it, it appears on the paper, and it appears in your handwriting.
It's going to be an Elven.
Yep. And as you go to tie it onto one of these posts, you see that there are many, many different languages that you can pick out of many travelers who have come here before. And some are short, some are long, some you recognize, some you can read. It's all people wishing for everything from their families to be safe, to make $1 million, to, you know, it's all over the place. Just a collection of wishes. Who else would like to leave a wish?
Having a hard time thinking of anything in particular.
You are not required to leave a wish.
Mm-hmm. She wants to experience it. I think just she picks up a piece of paper and it's something pretty generic, like I want the Sisters of Sorrow to be successful in keeping the people in their, I don't know, protection protected.
And yeah, and that appears on the little card in your handwriting, in your hands.
Kara does one as well, and the wish that comes to mind is, I hope that Kyoko has a strong and successful life.
Yeah. And as you hang that, Rana kind of catches a glimpse of it and really smiles, and he kind of like gets a little teary at that. Yep. Oh. And as it appears on yours,
is it his kid? I think it is.
Nobody's asked. And as it appears in that scrawl, very basic lettering that you were like going over, like a child is writing it, like because you were just doing those ledgers with Gidget before you.
Yep, exactly. It looks like crap.
Yeah, but it appears, and you tie it onto the post, and then Rana continues upwards, and you all are going to walk for another 30 minutes. So everybody give me a constitution save.
Not strength? Can I do strength?
You can give me athletics if you want.
Ooh. Actually, I rolled.
That was probably better for everybody.
Yes.
12?
I got a 10.
12, 10.
Unnatural 20.
Oh man. So Arnadel, you are really feeling it at this point. You're just like, God, this athletic. Is the most exercise you've ever had, and you're finding it hard to think about contemplation and shit when your legs are burning. And Kara, you are just so tired. Your armor is so heavy.
I'm so over it.
Yeah, but Saya, you were reinvigorated by this experience. Now that you're in it, you're like just in the endurance, and feeling kind of this place. It's all very quiet. And the mist is kind of clearing up now, and the sun has risen, and you can see down below the tiers of Ashtar that stretch out, and in the far distance you can see the winding river and the jungles to the south, and it's incredible here, and the sense of serenity about this place.
Oh yeah, she feels it. She's getting it. She's like, this is just the perfect meditative kind of physical. Like I could go forever.
Yeah. And with that, you approach the second shrine, which you see is very similar to the first one, except people have tacked what looks like little parchments all over this. They have stacked them on top. They have tied them with ribbons to these posts all over the place. And as you get close, Rana doesn't stop at this one, but you see that all of them are portraits of people. Done in different styles. Some of them are children's drawings, all the way to like fully commissioned portraits that people have left.
Are these dead people? What's up with the pictures? She
This-
points out.
Yeah, and Rana turns back. This is the Shrine of Healing. If people have family members who are sick, many come here in hopes of finding clarity or answers on how to deal with their condition.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah, he bows kind of like solemnly. He gives a nod to the shrine and then continues onwards. And you guys go for another 30 minutes. I won't make you roll. At this point, all of you are feeling it. It's long and it is hard to breathe. You have climbed a lot of stairs, and you see the third shrine come into view. Looks very similar to the others, except this one is just adorned with flowers. Hundreds and hundreds of flowers of all different colors and types that people have left.
Kara lies down on the ground in a huff, just like panting.
Rana pats your shoulder. We're almost there. The gates are just right ahead.
Okay. All right. I got it. Okay.
And you continue on for what seems like forever, but is really only like 20 more steps until you see suddenly the mist parts and you see the monastery up in front of you. And so again, it's painted like the gate way back at the bottom of this long, long climb. There's silver and blue are most of the motifs, and you see these swirling cloud patterns and mountains that have been beautifully illustrated into the gates and the walls of this place. And the gates are currently open. And so as you step up, you see that there is actually, it's like a medium-sized building, not as impressive as you would have thought, like in the center of this, but the ceiling of this stretches way. The roof is very intricately carved, again, that pagoda-style building, and you see these beautiful gardens and grounds just all around the central building. And there are a ton of people here. They are walking around in different colored robes. So the first thing you notice, you see people in orange, green, yellow robes that are just walking around the courtyard. And they all nod to you, but nobody says a word. This place is completely silent.
Oh, so is this the vow of silence thing? She leans over to whisper to Rana.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry, you don't have to be silent. They're used to pilgrims coming up here.
Kara is immediately very self-conscious about the clanking of her armor.
It is so loud.
Oh my god,
In
it's
this
like
enclosed
screaming.
space. But people don't really pay you mind. They're nodding politely to you and going about on their business, carrying things or sitting by beautiful pools or cutting trees. Like everybody's just clearly doing their thing, very zen about what's going on in this courtyard.
Hey Saye, is this like where you grew up? Is this like your monastery? Were they this quiet all the time?
There were hours of the day where it was definitely this quiet, but I don't know if it was like this all the time.
It would definitely. This is weird. This is weird for all. Yeah. And you approach the front doors, and Rana steps up to them and opens them. And the door is very well oiled. It doesn't make any sound as it swings open. And you step into a large decorative room, which is clearly a reception chamber of some kind, and you see that there are 3 chairs, very simple wooden chairs that are set like on a pedestal across from the doors immediately. So you see 3 people that are sitting there, clearly waiting for all of you. And let me flip back to my descriptions. So one, sitting in the center, there is a halfling man who is wearing, all 3 of them are wearing these silver and white robes that are identical to the robes that Rana is wearing. Yeah, and so the the one in the center chair is a very, very, very old halfling man. So old. Like, if you touched him, he would burst into dust. That's how old he looks. With this very long beard and sitting kind of hunched in the chair, looking like he's so tiny. And then on the left, you see a beautiful young woman who is clearly also an Air Genasi, who looks very, very similar to Rana.
Air Genasi? What is that exactly?
So it's what Rana is. That's why he's blue. Genasi is a elemental person. So there's air, earth, fire, and water. So that's why Rana is blue, and the wind always seems to be blowing around him because he's an Air Genasi.
I get it. That's cool.
Yeah. And then in the third chair, there is a woman with long raven black hair and purple skin, and her eyes shine with kind of a golden glow.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And as you step into the center of the room, Rana pushes a little bit ahead of all of you. He looks at you, just give me a moment. And he steps into the center of the room. Council. It is an honor to see you all. Shen, Breeze, Lorelei. And the purple woman says back, always an honor, Rana, to have you return. And then the Air Genasi woman says, good to see you, brother.
Kara has a look on her face like, what?
Two
Now
Air
a game.
Genasi? Whoa. They must be related.
I wasn't going to assume that because that's insensitive, but it's good to know I was right.
Yep. And the very small halfling man in the center calls out. And he doesn't actually call out. You don't know how you hear him. He's kind of like wheezing, whispering this. Council has been called in response to your grave request, Rana. Are these the 3 who seek to take the knife from this holy place? And Rana says, yes, they are. Present yourselves in turn. Sarye, step forward.
Shakes big step forward.
And Rana steps back, as you do, for you to take the center of the room. And the halfling, at this point, he fixes his posture, and his hood kind of falls back a little bit, so you can see, like, the wisps of gray hair around him, but he's got these shining green eyes that look and bore into you immediately as he's speaking to you. Sarye, what do you seek?
Oh. She really doesn't know what to say here. What is the thing we're after? The knife?
Well, I mean, actually, what is it that we're after? Why do we need the knife?
It tears veils that was in the prophecy to get you to the place where we shed the blood of Ravenkind, which is apparently Rem, so you can get your new patron. That's the Raven Lady, who's like the Raven Lady of Death or something.
What is your favorite color? What?
Blue. No, yellow. I don't know.
And the halfling man waits patiently as you all babble amongst each other, and then he clears his throat.
Oh, right. We're supposed to be quiet. Sorry.
Sarye, What do you seek?
I seek the Grail.
I'm gonna throw a shoe at you.
I'm
From
sorry.
across dimension.
You could not. You have to.
Come on.
Come on. You can't ask that question without that answer.
The guy asked, "What is your quest?" Not "What do you seek?" Bitches, watch the damn movie.
What is your quest?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's been a while since we got that prophecy, so it's not exactly fresh in my brain.
You get the feeling that when he's talking to you, he's asking you, Saye. It's not necessarily what you're doing right now.
Your true purpose.
Oh, well, to be at my friends and people's side whenever they need me. And right now, they need me to get through this test.
And he nods.
That's a good answer, God damn it.
And raises a hand for you to step back.
Okay. She backs up, feeling very embarrassed.
Kara, step forward.
She takes the obnoxiously large step forward.
Kara, why do you fight?
I fight because there's a lot of wrong in the world, and I want to set it right.
And he nods, raises a hand for you to step back.
Obnoxious step back.
Arnadel, step forward.
She does.
Arnadel, are you willing to do what must be done?
Yes.
And the purple woman says, "Your answers have been heard and considered. Your trial now begins."
What the fuck? Oh, God. Ugh.
And the air around you, the temperature drops dramatically. And all of your vision starts to go a little bit wobbly. Like as you're looking at the walls around you and the three people seated in front of you and Rana, everything is just sort of flickering. And it's changing from this natural lighting to this blue, sort of almost neon color as like lines are being traced in these strange light up outlines all around you. And you begin to hear Rana scream in the center of the room. No, you can't do them. You can't do this to them. They've had no training. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. And his voice begins to fade out and away until your vision settles and you are seeing the same-ish room you were in before, except the definitions of everything is different. It's all outlined in this blue. Just everything is outlined in blue. And you see the people that are in the room, they almost look like these ghost figures, like mist. Like you couldn't touch them if you couldn't. And the volume is muted. You can hear very far away voices speaking to you. And you do see one feature of the room that you didn't see before. A set of double doors have appeared directly behind the keepers. Yes, Arnadel.
Arnadel's gonna be analytically like comprehending like what's happening, and she's gonna try to reference whatever it is she's read and try to understand what's happening. I guess an Arcana check.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Stand by. Let me get my thing.
Do these ghostly figures look anything like the thing we saw in the attic?
I rolled
No.
Or the basement?
I rolled
No,
a 19.
A 19. So the figures don't look like what you saw in the basement. They look like misty versions of the real thing. So you can see that Rana is there in the room, but it's as if like the pixel quality on Rana has dropped way down. That's
It's
what
really
that's
far
what
away.
yeah,
I see.
that's what everything looks like in the room. Arcana check. You have never read anything like this. It's like the closest you can get is maybe you're in the astral plane. It sort of looks like that. The way everything is shadowy and far away and all these magical colors are around you. That would be your best guess, but that doesn't feel exactly right. But you
So it's
clearly
like
are
something I've
separated.
never read about.
Never read about. This
But
is
I can kind of piece it together, and I'm like,
yeah, like that's your guess. They're like maybe they put us. You're definitely not completely in the material plane anymore, and but you are still connected to it.
yeah, it's like an in between that I've never read about.
Yeah,
This is some funky ass weird
scary.
magic that they've fucking rigged together. Also, I have to address that one of my oldest and one of my bestest friends is in the chat right now and literally just showed up
Welcome!
because I was like, Michelle, get on Twitch and watch my podcast. This is a friend of mine that I've known since 2006.
Hi, Michelle. Welcome.
Michelle from Portland.
Yay, friend!
Hell
Ms.
yeah.
Maple, me's the Maple. So
Welcome.
everybody say hi.
Hello. Sorry, I'm putting Brittany through hell right now.
Yeah, this is sorry. No, she was just like, I don't know what's going on, and I'm like, it's okay, I'll tell you later.
It's fine. All right,
No,
so
yeah. Kara's like, Arnadel, what's going on over here? Things
Arnadel,
got real weird.
when you look over at Arnadel, she's like looking around, and her eyes are. Every time she has detect magic on, her eyes glow a little bit. So you see that she's like analyzing what's happening, kind of like scanning, and you see her kind of frantically looking around, and she's like, Kara, I don't know. This is something I don't under. It's weird. We're weird. We're in a weird place.
Oh, fuck.
This is magic that I don't know.
She immediately takes out her axe, ready.
Your axe in your hands is that same pixelated quality as you hold it.
What the fuck? I don't like this.
I look over at Kara, I look over at Saya, and then I'm like, I want to fire off a spell into the ground to see if it works.
Okay. What spell?
Eldritch Blast.
It works as it fires off. Though you think that your detect magic is a little bit weird. Like, you can see that things are magical, but it's not picking up different colors or textures or shapes.
Interesting.
You are actually seeing the exact same thing that Kara and Saya are seeing, but you wouldn't know since.
So basically, detect magic doesn't work. I would probably keep detect magic, and I'm not trying to metagame. I'm being super serious. I would still have it on while I fired off Eldritch Blast, and that's probably how I would notice.
Oh yeah. So you don't see your Eldritch Blast. It doesn't read.
Okay, I turned to Kara and Saya very alarmed, and I'm like,
you fire it, you just can't see the magic.
Yeah.
Signature.
No, maybe I don't explain why. I'm just like, this place is weird.
We can stay calm. Nothing has really happened yet. I'm sure this is all just part of what we need to go through, trying to forget what Rana was yelling about just then.
We don't need to know
for
what he was
real.
yelling
And I just
about.
want to take a second to take in our surroundings and see what else has changed.
We got to go through those doors.
So you see that you are in the exact same room. Everything is shadowy except for the outlines of the room, which are highlighted in the blue. So like the crevices between like the ceiling and the floor, all of those have a shining blue glow. And everything else is pixelated except for a set of double doors, which have appeared on the far side of the room, and they look 100%. They're not that pixelated of everything else. And they definitely weren't in the room when you talked to the keepers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we need to make our way to that door.
Yeah. Shall we?
Good.
Let's go together.
I lead the way.
Okay. So you approach the doors. They are two about 8 foot tall carved wooden doors. And you see that there are many, many bells that have been carved into the doors. The images of bells. And there are two iron pole rings.
Okay, so can I don't know if I'd have the instinct to check for traps. I'd feel like she believes this is just part of what we need
Yeah,
to do and just
that's
wants
fair.
to open the door.
Okay.
That's
As
what
you
Kara would do.
All right. So as you pull open this door, you see that you are standing in a smaller room, and nothing in this room has that blue outliner glow. It just looks like a room with stone floors and walls. And then you see that there are a set of double doors on the far side of this room. But as you look around the room, you see that the floor is covered in pieces of armor, boots, weapons, and a fine layer of white dust. And then you also see that there are things scratched into the walls.
Kara would go over and investigate the armor and kind of check out, like, what kind of person are these sized for? Is it finely made? You know, that sort of thing. Like, trying to determine who would wear it.
Yep.
So, like, I guess, would I make, like...
You can tell from just looking at the armor, there are a lot of different styles, sizes, types of weapons, different cultures here. It's all just totally a hodgepodge. It doesn't look like it was a specific type of fighting force or people. The people who wore these were all different races, came from different places.
Kara turns to you guys very grimly, very seriously, and she says, I think a lot of people died here.
Yeah.
I think this was theirs.
And
I think we're going through a test.
Yeah, and
I mean, we knew what was ahead of us, so
look at the messages on the walls. You can read some of them.
yeah. I want to read whatever's on the wall closest to me.
Cool. So you find a lot of them that just say help.
Oh.
I can't get out.
Mm-mm.
Too weak to go on.
Mm-mm.
It's been 32 days.
Are there doors at the other end of this room?
There is a set of doors at the other end of this room.
Oh, God.
Well, I guess we know what the test is.
Remaining alive for 32 days in a fucking boneyard?
Possibly.
I want to go see if the door opened.
What thing is empty? This is not empty. There's like still a decent amount.
All right. So, and Kara, as you step within 2 feet of the door, silver writing appears on it.
Hey, Arnie, come over here.
I come over and I look.
Okay. So it appears in intricate scroll across the door as you step towards it. In common, or for you, it's in Elvish.
Oh, I look over at Sayed. Sayed, what is this? Can you see it?
It's common for Sayed. Or Dorvin for Kara.
Cool.
To be a Carillan requires the strength to face our fears.
I read it so Kara can read it.
To be a Carillan requires the strength to face our fears.
So we're going to be facing our fears. What is that? Do you guys have?
Oh, fuck. And she immediately buries her head in her hand. I swear to God, if I see a fucking spider, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
Arnidel gets
I'm letting you know right now.
Haven't we already killed spiders? We got them.
I just don't want to see any fucking spiders. Oh
Arnidel gets super quiet and super stoic. You know, like when the jaw clench.
Well, should we go through?
Yeah.
Kara tries to pull the door open.
Right. The door opens. You see before you a room that is about 30 by 30 feet total, except when you step in, you see the walls and the floor are made of this very strange substance. It's kind of white and chalky looking, but it also looks wet at the same time, like it's been just put around the room. So if you imagine like
wet fresco.
Yes, exactly. Is around.
So specific.
It is. It's like it's plaster.
Wet
essentially.
fresco. Yeah.
And then so surrounds this room. And then that there are big chunks of like stone and bricks and just other debris that is scattered all around the floor.
Before we go in, Kara's gonna go over, taking in like the wet walls, and go over and like touch the white powder that's on the ground, and it's gonna turn to Arnadel and say, "What's up with this powder? Is it magical? Does it got something to do with those walls?"
You can't tell if it's
Kara,
magical.
You know how I can normally answer your question with that?
Yeah.
I can't here.
Oh, great. This is great.
Yeah, I can't. I normally can see magical things and kind of like tell what's going. I don't know how to explain it, but like I can get it, and I can't get it here.
Okay.
I don't know. It does. I don't think you should touch it though. Don't touch
She's
anything
like
here.
she's already like touching it and like sniffing it and like takes like her tongue and like dabs on her finger and like what's it taste like?
Kara, make a stone cutting check to see if you recognize what the dust is.
It's caulk.
You're poisoned.
Oh no! And Kara dies. She got a 16.
Okay. You don't think it's stone. You get the sense that it's finely crushed bone.
Oh, what is it? What is it in Skyrim? What the fuck is it in Oblivion?
Bone dust? Oh, bone meal?
Bone meal! That's what it is.
Yeah. Kara, she gets a look on her face, her eyebrows raise, and she has a little bit of surprise. It's like, oh!
On the wall?
I just ate someone.
That's dead
God.
people. I apologize. And she like looks around as if looking at mysterious spirits like, okay.
Yep. So there's this large room in front of you.
Shall we?
Yes. Sawyer wants to get out of there now that.
Yeah. I also want to go eat.
That's the thing.
Yep. So you all step into the room, and there is a moment of calm before you begin to hear a scratching sound coming from each side of the room. So,
Kara's praying to God it's not spiders.
For the 3 different walls.
What kind of scratching sound? Can you give a better description?
Okay. It's just 3 distinct types of scratching sound. One sounds like a blade being driven like across a chalkboard.
Oh!
One sounds like nails raking against wood.
Ew.
That's kind of a nice sound, though.
I hate this. I hate thinking about all these sounds.
And then one sounds like a tapping, scrabbling sound of many, many little feet.
Oh, God.
I need to get some chips. And I kind of need to feed my dog.
We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay. And as you hear and take in all of these sounds, suddenly the walls begin to tear apart, and you see 3 distinct figures climbing their way out of this wet white substance. And you see immediately across from you a robed figure in black with a very familiar mask. And these long, dark, shadowy claws climb out of the wall and make eyes with you, Saye, as you see.
Nope.
Hold on, give the description there, because apparently there are 3 very specific enemies that are addressed to each of us.
Mm-hmm. As you see this figure climb out of the wall towards you. And then as you swing to the left, you see first these 4 probing purple tentacles that make their way out of the wall, and they twist and rip as this tall, gaunt figure steps out, and you see these tentacles out of his face, and this black, high-collared robe.
That's for me! That one's for me!
And then on the right side, you see 8 sets of black legs pierce through the wall and climb on this giant bulbous chitinous spider body. And then you see a human torso planted on top that shoves the rest of this out of the way as a half drow, half spider creature climbs out. And suddenly, we are in the midst of a battle.
Oh, fuck that noise!
A real fucked up one.
And that's where we're actually going to end today, because we're at time!
Oh my god.
I'm gonna die.
Yep. Your
Well-
trial has begun.
I forgot that I answered your question. So I just said in the chat, Celeste asked all of us months ago what our characters' worst fears were. And let that dissipate from our memories, because now I'm remembering.
I hid it in there with like 10 other questions.
Yes, and now I remember my worst fear was a fucking mind flayer. And
Oh,
you're-
I hate you so much, Brittany.
And yes, so that is...
Of course Ardedel's worst fear is a fucking mind flayer. What else would it be?
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the things of nightmares.
Yeah.
So,
Those are
Thank
Brittany's
you.
worst fears in real life, let's be honest.
Yeah, brain eating, not into it.
Slavery, fucking darkness.
Yeah, some big no-nos in there.
No.
So thank you everybody so much for listening to episode 42, The Horrible Meaning of Life. Tests are hard is what that is. So I have been your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
I'm about to be your emotional. Okay, so all of the things that we've gone through together in this podcast, it's about to get way more emotionally traumatic now.
Oh my
Like
god.
legitimately, this is gonna be like legitimately emotionally. There's gonna be real PTSD. Like,
Guys,
Alice-
we're gonna have to have some real fucking talk about our past.
Oh my
Like,
god.
This is some shit.
Like Alistair Fitzpatrick almost dying. That's like chump change next to this shit. Kind of, because that was traumatic. Anyway, I've been Arna Delethil, played by Brittany Quintero.
And I have been seen playing Cyanur, your human monk.
And I'm Sage, and I play Carpenhilda the Barbarian.
Well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in. I can't wait until next time. I'm so pumped. And guys, don't forget, in like 8 days, we're going to be doing LA Maiden Fest. So we're going to
Oh yeah.
a shitload of fun content for you. So stay tuned for that. And until then, you know what you all should do?
Venture away.
Venture away! Venture away, everybody. Thank you.
Also,
Oh,
what up, Michelle? God damn it, I can't believe you're in your Twitch. Also, thank you guys.
Michelle.
Michelle, whoop whoop.
Michelle.
Venture away, bitches. Pineapple.
I love all of you.
Pineapple.
Fucking pineapple.